Hi, everyone, and welcome to 2021. Last week, I was interacting with someone on Twitter about my career reinvention program. In a nice way, sort of, she told me I missed the mark on one of my top line messages. The one where I say you are not a product of your last job and you shouldn't define yourself by that. That's not the element of my message I thought anyone would really have a problem with. I jumped to the conclusion that her prior job was not great, and I suggested that she may not be in a place of readiness to tackle a major career reinvention right now. But that turned out to not be the case. Her name was Britt, and Britt said to me, "You're wrong. I loved my work, and it did define who I was." She loved her job and was good at it, and she also found purpose and meaning in the work she did until she got hurt. You see, Britt was in the military, and after sustaining an injury, she discovered that she could no longer return to active duty. She's applied for numerous positions within the federal government where she thought her skills and knowledge would transfer, but has since become disillusioned after receiving absolutely no response to any of her applications. That's a whole other subject. She's considered making a change to law enforcement, but her physical limitations have precluded that as well. She's trying to look ahead, but she believes she had everything that made sense for her taken away. When I put the course together, I certainly tried to cover the bases in how I framed career reinvention, but I unfortunately missed considering those in Britt's situation. Those who find themselves happy and fulfilled, but the rug gets pulled out from under them. This can come in many forms, and in Britt's case, an injury that prevented her from physically being able to do her former job. There are many situations that are out of your control that lead you to the place of needing to search for something new. Most of which minimally afford you the opportunity to choose whether or not to continue moving along the same path in the same direction, or pivot as you look for your next opportunity. But there are circumstances, like Britt's, that force you off your chosen path and they lock the gate behind you. And that leaves you wondering if you'll ever have the opportunity to be happy in your work again. What do you do then? Is that it? Are you now destined to a career and a life that you know will never measure up to the dreams you had that were killed unexpectedly? As I'm thinking about this now, this would be a point where I would usually ask the question, what could be good about this situation? What are some potential upsides even down the road? But I can hear anyone in Britt's shoes shouting out from the audience, "Let me show you where you can shove that silver lining." And to be honest, that would be totally fair. So I want to say to Britt and to anyone else in a similar situation, the loss of a future that you had planned for is devastating. There's a lot of grieving that's involved in letting go of something that you loved, especially if it was something that brought purpose and meaning into your life. My advice, go through that process fully. Don't rush it. No one should expect you to put on a happy face and move on. You shouldn't even expect that of yourself. But on the other side of that process, there will be choices and options for you that are never clear in the fog of disappointment and despair. And even then, you can still choose to believe that your best is behind you and accept that nothing will ever come close. Or you can choose to embrace the idea that you might have an opportunity to find or create a new thing that you will love just as much, or maybe even more, than what you did before. If you have physical limitations, how can you turn that into an advantage or a feature? When you already know what it feels like to do the work that fuels your purpose and gives meaning to your life, then you are way ahead of others because you already know how to articulate what it is that lights you up and brings you joy. That is a critical differentiator for most people. Maybe there are skills and talents that you previously relied on that you can no longer use. But with those set aside, what then rises to the top? What strengths and talents have been lying dormant or underutilized? Just because a few bricks have been knocked out of your talent stack, it doesn't mean that the whole wall has to come down. The foundation remains. The foundation is you. And you can use those holes in the wall to see through to opportunities that you may have never noticed before. The way you decide to patch up the holes is what will help you create your new and improved wall. Your new story starts with finding the right bricks, the ones that fill in the holes, and especially if you choose bricks that don't match, they're the ones that make you stand out in your uniqueness. What looks like a huge loss now will eventually be a new chapter of the book that you write that changes the direction of your story one way or another through whatever life throws at you and whatever you choose to do with it. I want to say thank you to Britt for pushing back on me and engaging in a conversation that has helped me see something that I missed. Again, welcome to 2021. Please keep in touch, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.